Today's video is brought to you by 8M Capsule. 8M Capsule, be part of internet history. Yes people, what's good and welcome back to the channel. So before we even go into the video today guys, 366 subscribers. Thank you so much people for showing me love, showing the channel love. The comments are amazing, and you guys, you know, I'm doing this just to show you guys what my journey is having a reef tank. Well, and my daughter's Pico, technically my Pico. But guys, thank you so much for subscribing, and just keep it going. Don't forget to like, share, yeah, and subscribe to this video, because a lot of people are watching and not subscribing. There's more good stuff to come, especially during summer. So make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon so you'll be getting the latest videos when I post them up to YouTube. Now, every now and again I do go away for work, and I do have a tank sitter to look after my, my aquarium and the Pico. So this is what I go through, or this is what I do to set up my tanks to ensure that I get zero headaches when I'm away at work. Okay, so let's just talk about general monitoring my tank when I'm away. So this is my controller board I made during lockdown last year, and I have all my bricks on here. I have my controllers, and all that is controlled by my Apex. Now, the thing I like about the Apex is, like I said, it gives you an email notification or blank notification saying that something is out of the parameter you've set, which is cool. However, if I had a leak on the tank, or a pump wasn't turning on, or I needed to clean something or unblock something, I'm not here to do it. This is why I got myself a Dan. Now this is what Dan usually looks like, and sometimes he wears a hat. Okay, so the first thing I would do is ensure that my pump for my ATO is nice and clean, and the tube leading out from the ATO reservoir to the sump itself, there are no obstructions, so that I can actually top up my evaporation for my tank. So it's very important to keep the salinity stable, every day in your tank, and especially while you're away. The second thing I like to do on the ATO is ensure that the sensor is nice and clean. So I take the sensor out, just give it a good old wipe. Now there's not a lot of calcified stuff on the ATO, but the sensor itself, so that just needs a wipe down with a bit of tissue and then place it back in the sump, and that's one job done. I will also just check on the skimmer. Now if it's a couple of days I'm away for, like a weekend, it's cool, so I just literally clean the skimmer cup so that it's nice and fresh when he comes in, so when I come back I can see how much crap's been collected in the system. If I'm going away for more than a week, I can give the skimmer a good old little clean to ensure that there are no stoppages while I'm away, or no malfunctions with the pump itself, so that Dan doesn't have to get his hands involved or too deep in the sump. Now guys, I can't stress enough, if you are going on a trip that's more than a day, yeah, it is the wrong time to be adding new bits of equipment on your tank. And I'm talking about things like new dosers, new pumps, new auto feeders, just a new ATOs, just stuff like that. The reason is that you can't monitor how these things are being broken in. Another thing I do is ensure that my dosing container gets topped up with the solutions required to be dosed every day. Now, it's also a good idea to let the person that looks after your tank, i.e. Dan in my instance, yeah, shout out to Dan, that he knows what calcium, magnesium and alkalinity is. So if you are away for longer than you expect to be, that he can actually, resupply or retop up these reservoirs, so everything is cushy for when you get back. Now, it's all good that your tank sitter, looks after your tank. You can turn off plugs, he can tell you if something's overflowing. Yeah, that's all well and good. Another good idea to actually show your tank sitter what a stressed coral looks like and what an injured or sick fish looks like, so they can tell you or recognize it and then tell you that, yeah, your fish is sick or your coral's not doing too well, so you can say, okay, let's triage it this way. Okay, so I do have the Pico here, and the Pico is so done easy to look after. Basically, what I tell my tank sitter is to identify where the water line is, and it should be just above the slot, or the comb for the weir to go back into the rear chamber. And if that drops lower, all you do is take some RDI water and just pour it into the back. Now, some people say I need to get an ATO for this. I don't think I need an ATO at this point, because this is done regularly, and to tell you the truth, it doesn't evaporate that much, to be honest. Also, I do one drop, literally one drop of ATI Nutrition P and one drop of Nutrition N in this tank, and I think that's how I got over the dino/cyano issue. And you can see all the corals are doing really well since I started dosing this. Look at the SPS all encrusting. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. More things you can do, leave the tools out, fam. When I say leave the tools out, so if you need to, for emergencies, need to make some salt water, there's a salinity tester out or some form of refractometer that they know where to find it. They know how to make the fresh salt water. And this links me to our next point, ensure that your RDI unit has produced some good quality H2O for your tank. So which means that if in case of emergency, like I said, they can make some salt water for your tank to do a quick water change. Or if your ATO has run out, they can put some RDI water in there. So it's always a good idea to leave some fresh RDI water in the front room or somewhere that's accessible for your tank sitter to go and, you know, access when needed. Over the last week, I've been feeding my tank pemysis, and tell you what, they love it. The fish love pemysis, and this was recommended by my friend Darren from Taylor's Marine Room. So if you are in Portsmouth, guys, make sure you check them out. Shout out to Darren, Taylor's Marine Room. Boom, there you have it, pemysis. Check them out, fam. So the reason I went up to pemysis is because this is what it looks like at the back, and you can actually break off little chunks. What I do is if I know I'm going for, say, 5 days, I literally break off the 5 chunks that were like my tank sitter to feed to my tank. Now I'll show you what I use so that the fish get fed evenly and he doesn't drop just a big chunk of frozen food to float around the tank. Dan, my tank sitter, yeah, big up Dan, will come and get the fish food, place it into the fish feeder. Now throughout the day, I'll just thaw out, and I've got like a little pump or the Nero Free, or it's a Nero Free, got a Nero Free right here to help break that up. And then as that breaks up, the fish can feed at leisure. It's a more natural kind of food according to what Darren says and what the research says. So they are getting like the good stuff, the good oils containing this food, and there's a lot of food in that little piece just floating around there. Okay, so what we covered being monitored by the Apex. We've covered letting your tank sitter know how to mix salt water, filling up vats, checking on your sump, making sure your ATO is sorted. We covered feeding as well. What we haven't covered, and the UK is a weird bloody place, because one day it could be cold as hell, the next day it could be hotter than Satan's toenail, which is why I'm always talking about this. Having some way to cool the room down if it gets too hot while you're away. Yeah, because if you're away and your tank goes to like 27, 28 degrees and you have no way to cool it down, or your tank sitter has no way to cool it down, you'll have problems. I'm not saying that everyone should go out and get an AC, because it might be a lot of money for some people. I don't know. It's all budget dependent. So if you can get like a chill, if you can get fans, find some way that you can, in an emergency, you can put it on, switch it on, so your tank can drop temperature to where it's comfortable and where it's safe. So there you go, people. Yeah, simple, innit? Just a couple of steps that I take, yeah, to ensure that when my tank sitter comes home or comes here to look after my tank, everything is laid out for him, so he doesn't have to worry. Yeah, he can just act when he needs to act, feed it, identify something if something's wrong, and then let me know so that we can work together to rectify the situation. Right, cool, guys. Right, so this is this is Narayan for HC Aquatics Reefing. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, peeps. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Trust me, brother. Subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you next time.